Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make acid techno in the style of T78 and ROBPM. You guys have been requesting this one for a minute now. As always, you can get the project file and samples and MIDI and presets and all that stuff from this video in the description, and if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Let's get started. We're at 130 BPM. The first sound here is the kick, which sounds like this. So with this kick, you can hear it's a very particular type of kick. With this one, usually with a techno kick, you would have like the impact and then the rumble. And the rumble would technically be a little bit softer than the impact. But with this one, you can hear it's almost like the rumble has the same body to it that the impact at the start of the kick has. And that's very important for this sound. When I was putting this up against reference tracks, these guys use really, really big kicks. And I believe this is how they're doing it. So what we got going on here is I have a kick sample. There's the dry kick, just like this punchy, very hard-hitting bass kick. I've got this going into a saturator just to kind of give it a bit more of a hit going right out of the sound. You can hear the difference when I turn that off and on. And then after that, we have the rumble. So I have two chains here. This is just the punch of the kick. And then this is the rumble. So you can see the punch of the kick, we just have a bit of saturator. Here's without that. With it, you can hear it just gives it a little bit more impact. And then the rumble, which is made this way. So what we have going on here is, I'll turn everything off, and the first thing that we have is this delay. And if you listen, the delay is doing eighth notes. It's literally just doom, 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 like that. You see the delay is all 100% wet. And yeah, so this is the way that I believe you get these kinds of kicks, is using this eighth note delay to make the rumble. Because then after that, you put it into the distortion, and you can hear it kind of becomes like this very, very bassy, just like wash almost. And then you filter that, and there you go. And then after that, I just have this auto pan, making it bounce out from the kick, and then this, which is cutting at 100 hertz. But yeah, so I think that this 8th note delay is really the secret here, because if I switch this to 16th notes, you can hear it just doesn't have that same power in the rumble. And if we put this up against the track, like pause this video and put this up against Seatbelt by ROBPM, you'll see what I mean. This just doesn't quite have that same fullness to it, and it's not going to sit the same way in the mix as this will. So yeah, definitely an important thing there. And like if we do this with some reverb even, you'll see it's still just like not quite there. So then we recommend using that 8th note delay. So after the rumble, I have these two EQs. You can see this one is just before the drum bus, just cutting out some low mid-range. This one's afterwards, boosting in the low end, cutting the low mid-range, boosting the mid-range for a bit of punch as well. Pretty simple stuff. The EQs just help you to kind of focus the sound and keep it under control. Then we have this drum bus. Here's without this. So this is really important for the kick. You can hear it takes the kick and the rumble, glues them together, makes it sound like one just fat, huge, hard-hitting sound. And that is it for the kick. Next thing that we have here is the 303, which sounds like this. So here are the notes on this one. It's just droning on G sharp. I was trying to get like that acid lick type of vibe, like towards the end when they just have the huge 303 part like this. You can see it's really syncopated. There's a lot of 16th notes. You can see like I've got some choppy notes as well where they're not quite touching the next note. All that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, the real thing with this one is the sound. You can see what we've got here is operator. I've just got a saw wave. It's set like this with the envelope. And then that's going into a bandpass filter. And the bandpass filter has an envelope on it. You can see I've got a very, very short attack with the slope up all the way on that. This is like the default setting. And then that is with that slope. But this is how you get that more modern kind of 303. It's using a bandpass filter with the envelope not really going that hard. Like it's not up that much. It's only at 12%. And then you give it that little bit of attack at the start of the sound. Because if you listen to a lot of these tracks, not just by T78 and ROBPM, but just like the acid techno that I'm hearing in general right now, it's got like that kind of thing to it where you can hear like Like, you can hear that filter going like meow, instead of just like you get with a pluck. If I get rid of the attack, that doesn't quite sound right, but that, you can even do more. I have it kind of set a little bit shorter just because these notes are short, but yeah, the attack is definitely pretty important. And then I've got the frequency and the resonance there. The frequency is being automated, so this is really where the interesting stuff comes. You can see this is the pattern basically, and you can see like we're accentuating different notes throughout the pattern. So this just gives it some constant movement, you know, makes it so it's not just like sitting in one place. Like if I just have this sit in one place, it's just not that interesting. So yeah, it's a matter of kind of just playing with that filter frequency and finessing it a little bit. After that, we have this amp. It's on the boost setting. Here's without it. And then with it. So you can hear, this is what really makes it sound like a 303. Obviously, it is kind of blowing it out, distorting it, you know, really, really bringing out those highs and the mid-range, and giving it more of that squelchy tone. Like before it, the sound is in there, but you need something like this to really bring it to life. And I like using the amp specifically for my distortion for 303s instead of like a saturator or an overdrive or something like that, because amp simulators have a lot of character to them. They give you a very particular feel when you use them. You're not just going to get like, you know, standard distortion. You're going to get kind of distortion and a bit of tonal shaping, and that's what I was going for here. I wanted it to sound more textured, you know, like I'll show you. Like if I just get an overdrive and put it on here. Like it's distortion, but it's not as nice as with this amp. After that, we have this echo, just doing eighth notes, pretty simple stuff, just giving it like a little bit of some space. Then we have this drum bus. This is really fattening the sound up. Here's without it. You can see like it can sound a bit thin, especially coming out of that amp, but when you add the drum bus, it gives it back some of that low mid-range and really like fills it out. It's really more like, it's not that it's adding anything, it's just that it brings out stuff that's already there that isn't quite as loud as the other frequencies. Like without this, you're just hearing a lot more of the highs. But with this, the saturation is just making the sound, it's like bringing out the things that you need to hear that you aren't hearing without it. After that, we have this EQ8. I actually have two EQs. You can see this one's just cutting the low end. Then I have this one cutting the low end again. And I want to focus more specifically at this 100 hertz range, just because that's usually where the kick is hitting. If I play the kick and the 303 together without this EQ, and then with it, you'll hear. You can hear, like, it's just fitting together a lot better with the kick with this. So, yeah. And then the only other thing on there is this auto pan. I'm just giving it that same sort of like slight side chaining effect as I had on the rumble from the kick. And that is it for the 303. The next thing we have here is this operator hi-hat, which sounds like this. So these are the hi-hats. I've got the hi-hats all in a group together. And this one is just like the one that's playing 16 notes under everything, basically. And the way I made this, like I said, was using operator. We just have some white noise. And then going into this bandpass. And there you go. And the secret with this one is just making sure you get like a fat sound. Like, making these hi-hats is very good because you get a lot of control over the sound. You can make it sound exactly like you want. You can get exactly the timbre of hi-hat you want. You know, you can really dial in a lot of different things by just filtering some white noise. The only thing is sometimes, like, just by default, like if you just set it like this, like that's too thin. That's not really going to work in a track like this. You need something really full and fat sounding. So you just gonna have to finesse it. Like how I've done here, I've got the frequency a little bit lower, so we get some more mid-range in there. I've also got it on the 12 dB filter, so the 24 dB. And then the 12 dB, you can hear it adds in or lets out some of that mid-range. So, you know, it's just stuff like that, like knowing how to make it fat. And then speaking of that, I also have this drum bus on there. Here's without that. And with it, so you can hear that really helps as well. Like, it's all about just making the sound and then using a little bit of drum bus or saturation or stuff like that to kind of get it away from just being like the dry synth. So yeah, after that we have the shaker and this hi-hat together, which sound like this. So these are together because they're both playing on the upbeats. So here's the shaker. And then the hi-hat. So you can hear the shaker gives us that like nice fat mid-range. And then the hi-hat gives us the attack because it's got that kind of punch to it. And also just like the rest of the sound. The shaker's important though. If I take this out and I play you the whole mix, you can hear the hi-hat sound a little thin. Versus when I bring in the shaker, it really fills the whole thing out more. And it feels like it gets back some of that mid-range. It's important to do this. Like, I do this in a lot of my other techno videos, but you really want to make sure that your hi-hats are as full and as much attention to detail is paid as with the kick and with the 3-on-3 and stuff like that, because it's like, even though hi-hats are brighter sounds, you can hear, like, you don't just want, like, a super bright hi-hat and hi-hat. You want something that's full and fat sounding. So that's the purpose of layering the shaker together with the hi-hat. And then the last thing here, before I show you the group, is this ride, which sounds like this. I should probably turn up the release on that. But yeah, this is pretty simple. It's just like this really low-tuned, deep ride. You know, it has a very, like, raw feel to it. As opposed to, like, if I pitch this up, maybe, like, that doesn't sound as raw as this does. And then I've just got a bit of a high-pass filter on that. And yeah, and then I have all the hi-hats and that ride in a group. Here is with no group processing. And then with all of it. So you can hear why we do this. This just takes everything, ties it all together, makes it feel more even and balanced. Like, we really hear the ride and the hi-hat that are hitting on the same upbeat there are very much in the same place now versus without the drum bus. You know, they don't fit together as well. So with this, I've just got it on the hard setting. I've got the transients up a little bit as well. This really helps with the operator hi-hat, kind of just making it more fat and hard hitting. And yeah, and then after that, we just have an EQ8 cutting out the low end, kind of cleaning it up because you can hear there's a little bit in there. And yeah, so that is me for this one, guys. That is all that I've got to show you for today. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you thought of this video in the comments. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the project file and samples, MIDI and presets, and all that from this video in the description. And if you're a patron on my Patreon, check there because it's already available. Thank you so much, guys, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.